Hey guys, this is Hydra from Xtrades, and in this video we're going to go over how to find big winners like SMCI, right? So SMCI was um, a really big winner for people in 2024, and the stock pretty much it went from, so this is when the breakout happened around 350 level, and it went all the way up to 1077. So it pretty much double or 200% gain in like around a month. So pretty insane move, right? But how can we position ourselves to catch these types of moves, right? So that's the whole point of this video, and that's what I'm going to cover. Um, so the reason why SMCI had such a big move was first because of its so this is how SMCI was set up before its move, right? Well, it made a big move before, and then it's just been consolidating for a couple months within this space, and then it has a really good earnings report, and it makes a really big move up the first day, right? And what you want to notice is look at the volume bar, right? Look at the volume bar on this candle and look at the volume bars before. So this volume is like a skyscraper bar compared to the volume bars before. And when you see this much volume on a strong candle like this and a strong close, that's a sign that institutions are buying into the stock, and that's exactly what happened. So when you have a very powerful breakout, you're breaking out of this big base, you have lots of volume, good sign that institutions are buying into the stock, and when you strong this close, it's almost always a very positive sign, right? So look at what SMCI did in the next couple of days. So the next day it went up a lot higher, hit 480, but ended up pulling back in, and then a few days of consolidation here, just again almost testing 500. Another inside bar here, more consolidation, and then again testing 500. So here it was forming a low base. So and then the next day breaks out. It actually gaps up really high, and then um, yeah, it just continues to go basically. SMCI doesn't really give any opportunities to buy into the stock after the initial day. This is like the best time to buy, right? Because if you're breaking out of a big base, at 350 level is very clear resistance, right? So you buy there, you place your stop loss on the low um, of the candle. So over here, you buy over here, or stop loss placed over here, and then yeah, you can pretty much ride this entire thing. So I ended up actually I did end up buying, but I sold way too early. I sold around 425 because because it was just a really quick move in such a short period of time, right? But obviously, had I known it would go to 1,000, then obviously I would keep holding it. But I made a really good return in a short period of time. But I could have improved on this trade by using 10-day moving average, um, or 20-day moving average, and then basically um, take some profits at that 425 level where I did, but then ride the rest until it violates a moving average. If I had done that, I would have been able to capture a much bigger profit, but I didn't, and that's okay. Lesson learned. But yeah, so how can we capture these big winners, right? So SMCI's move started from that big earnings report, big volume, right? So what we want to be paying attention to are stocks that have big volume on a some sort of big catalyst. An example of that would be an earnings report, but any sort of like news article that drops that causes a big spike and a very big candle. That's almost always a sign that institutions are buying into the stock, and you want to try to find ways into yeah, basically buying it with a low risk entry. So let's take a look at some other examples. So Snapchat in 2020. Um, yeah, so 2020 Snapchat had big earnings report, big volume. Look at the volume bars before, and look at the volume bar here, right? Again, same thing, right? So once it had that big report, it formed a little flag here and then broke out, and then pretty much just slow grinded higher for the next couple of months, and then another really big earnings gap up, big volume again, and it continues to grind higher and higher, right? So from that first gap up, so from the first gap up, which was over here, it went from, let me get my drawing tool. It went from $15 to $83 and pretty much like what is that, less than 2 years? Yeah, so 451% move, right? And the catalyst which started this move was that earnings report. When you see a big earnings report, big volume, strong close, it's a sign that institutions are buying into the stock, and that's exactly what happened for like the next couple months, and they just continue to go higher and higher, right? So that's a good example. Pins is another good example. So again, this was in 2020, had a really strong earnings report, really strong volume. Look at the volume bar before and look at the volume bar there, right? Very clear skyscraper volume. And once it made that, once it got that move, it pretty much just slow grinded up for the next year, and it made a 170% move in a pretty short period of time. So if you can just capture moves like these and compound your money over and over again, it's very easy to make a lot of money in the market, right? But obviously, you'll also have some names that don't work out. So they'll end up having really big volume, but they'll end up stopping you out, right? Stop, like you always place your stop loss at the low of the first candle. So some do not work out, but those losses are very small. And when you're right, you make huge gains like this one, right? Like pins, snap. But yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to get at. We'll take a look at a few more examples. So Nvidia is another really good example. So Nvidia actually had a very strong gap up in 2023, right? And then it pretty much just consolidated. So if you bought here, this would have been the first buy when it breaks out of this flag, right? So this would be the first buy at 389, and then over here pretty much just forms a base for a long time, which is completely fine, right? And then over here we finally get a strong breakout again. So this could be your second chance to buy, and then yeah, it pretty much doubled. So it went from 90%, almost double from your first buy in a good period of time, and then second buy went up almost 50% in a very, very short period of time. But yeah, again, Nvidia was also, the earnings report was the first catalyst, right? So yeah, that's basically what you want to be watching out for. You want to be watching out for big volume or big gap ups with big volume, and if they can strong close, and then yeah, ideally they end up basing and then continue grinding higher, like just like Snapchat and Pins did. So some names that are also showing the same signs right now are ARM. ARM also had a very big earnings gap up, huge volume. Look at the volume bars before and look at this volume bar, right? It's a skyscraper. And yeah, this one also looks like it has a lot of potential, similar to SMCI. But yeah, this one, I'm sure that this one has potential to double very quickly from here. Another one is Palantir. Palantir also had a monster earnings gap up here. Take a look at the weekly chart, really strong. Look at the volume on the weekly chart, right? That's a very, very clear sign of accumulation, right? So this one looks like it wants to get back to all-time highs, and this one I'm sure has a lot of potential to double or even triple in the next couple months to years, right? So Palantir is another high or a stock with a lot of potential. This is another one, APP. This one also had a very strong earnings gap up, really good volume, very strong close. A couple others, Frog. This one had very, very strong volume. Look at that volume bar compared to the volume bars before, right? And on the weekly chart, it looks pretty good. Looks like it's finally turning up to the right side now. So a lot of potential there. Path is another one. Really big volume bar here on earnings. Yeah, that volume bar there. So this is one that wouldn't have worked out, would have stopped you out, but you can always find ways to re-enter. And let's take a look at a couple more. ESTC, this one worked out pretty well. So this was the first gap up, and then it pretty much just consolidated, and then the second gap up, and then this one's been working pretty well so far. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you guys for this video. Oh wait, actually before I stop, Lyft is another good example. Lyft has, yeah, look at the volume bar. compared to all the other volume bars before, and it's finally trying to break out of this space. And on the daily chart, yeah, just huge volume. And this one just completely took off as soon as it went from $14 to 19.5 pretty much. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this video. Thank you guys for tuning in.
There's a reason why Xtrades is currently the fastest growing application on the market for sharing financial ideas. With over $2.5 million paid in the last 2 years to contributors, users are flocking to see what trades the top traders on the leaderboard are sharing in real time. If you're looking to grow your reputation as a trader on the internet or discuss your trading ideas with other reputable investors, click the link below and get connected with a trading mentor today, completely free of charge.